Let's return to This Week in America. Here's your host, Rick Bratton.
Welcome back, everybody, coast to coast, This Week in America. The delightful book Christian Bible Drama Series, Christmas Edition, revised to musical, same story, same message, same Jesus, different stories by Reverend Dr. Errol E. Leslie, dramatizes the Christmas story using a fictional plot and characters. In it, poetry, drama, music, and dance are interwoven into one continuous narrative. The book has a clear and relevant Christian message. Reading the book will encourage anyone to believe and trust in Jesus. Reverend Dr. Errol Leslie, founder of Grace and Mercy Ministries Incorporated in Palm Bay, Florida, is an immigrant from Jamaica. With a background as a Methodist minister, he has served multiple United Methodist Church organizations and congregations across Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Florida. Reverend Leslie prioritizes evangelism, Bible study, youth work, missions, and Christian outreach. His ministry includes establishing or improving food-sharing ministries and actively engaging with parishioners through prayers and visits. A talented musician and playwright, he's written Christian plays and skits, composed music, and released multiple gospel music albums. He holds a BA in theology from the University of the West Indies and a Doctor of Ministry from Columbia Theological Seminary. Reverend Dr. Errol E. Leslie, author of Christian Bible Drama Series, Christmas Edition, revised to a musical, same story, same message, same Jesus, different plot, is our guest on This Week in America.
Okay, thank you very much for having me, Rick, and I'm so happy to be here. I appreciate the opportunity to share my message.
Well, the message is done so well, such a unique way to present this, and it's resonating well and getting excellent reviews. Let's start with the very basic. What influenced you to write this book?
Well, this really goes back to the 1980s, believe it or not. I was a young pastor back then, and I served churches which would put on the annual Christmas play. And what I found, having watched the plays for the first 2 years, was that they kind of lacked intrigue and lacked suspense and lacked drama. There were the basic story. You go to the plays, you see the same thing, the manger scene and that kind of thing. And I thought, we could do a little better than that. I wanted to go a little deeper. And because I was writing plays all along and skits all along, I thought, I'm going to prepare the next play for the following years. And so I went to work and I determined that I was going to create some imaginary characters which the Bible did not refer to. Because clearly, Mary and Joseph were normal human beings. They had parents, they had relatives. And so I wanted to create those relatives to see how they would have reacted to the miraculous news. And that just said to me, go ahead and write and make it suspenseful, make it a real drama.
You do such a wonderful job with that. It's sort of like the rest of the story because, as you say, we get the basics and we wonder what was going on. What was the thought process? What was everybody going through, the emotions and all of that? And you tap into that in Christian Bible Drama Series, Christmas Edition, revised. The website for the book is, and the book is written by our guest, Reverend Dr. Errol E. Leslie, RevErrolLeslie.com, and we've got that on our website. You can go there and link on directly. Book available, of course, at Amazon, all of the usual places. Talk about your background, involvement in drama and theater in your life and at what level, because you are a gifted theater writer, a gifted musician as well. Talk about your background.
Okay, well, I certainly will. First of all, to say that I actually have no professional training.
That's what's amazing. Yes, a self-instructed musician. I love that. A self-taught. With all of the background you've had, I would have thought you had a doctor's degree in music. I didn't mean to interrupt there, but it's amazing the gift that you've been given.
No, that is fine. I think, without bragging, I think this is one of the gifts which I got from God for music and theater. And so, like I said, I have no professional training in either, but in high school and in college, certainly, I was in drama and theater, and I literally fell in love with the art. I started doing theater in high school at a very early stage, and like I said, fell in love with it. And between seventh grade and when I graduated, 12th grade, I never missed a play. We did them 2 or 3 plays per year. By the time I got to about 10th grade, I was always playing a lead role in a star, so to speak. And when I got to seminary and got to college, I continued this. So it's just a natural flair that I have for it. It's innate, it's God-given, and I have just been using my God-given talent in this way.
It's interesting going back to like high school. You were involved in theater behind the scenes, backstage, as well as starring in production. So you have a sense of what goes on backstage in production and in the performance part of it. It's such an amazing background you have that you bring to life in Christmas Bible Drama Series, Christmas Edition, revised, book available at Amazon, wherever books are sold. I'll give you all that information as we go through the conversation. What factors led you to write a full musical as opposed to a regular play? You've got, again, tapped into your creative skills for this, and you've got poetry, drama, music, dance, all interwoven in this. Why a full musical rather than just a play?
I think the reason for that goes back to something I said earlier, or you mentioned that I also am a self-taught musician. And in addition to playing on the stage myself during high school and college, I attended several musicals. In my home country of Jamaica, there was an annual musical, a pantomime, which had the same elements: music, drama, dance, and that sort of stuff. And I believe that I would have been influenced or impacted by that. I just loved to see the flow, the poetry, the dance, the music, the singing. All that meant so much to me. And while that particular event, which I'm describing, I attended in Jamaica as a youngster, teenager, early 20s, growing up, may not have been necessarily gospel or spiritual or Christian based, it still gave me the impetus to say, we can do this at the Christian level. And of course, it's not that I'm the first person to write a Christian musical. There are several Christian musicals, as you well know. But I just love that aspect of the arts, to see the dancers come on and do their bit, and it's all connected to the next group that might come on and do some poetry or some group speaking, and then the drama picks it up. It's just a fantastic flow. And I thought, Errol, you can do this. And God said, yes, Errol, you can do this. And I said, I'm going to do it.
Well, and you did it so well. The book is, again, Christian Bible Drama Series, Christmas Edition, revised. Reverend Dr. Errol E. Leslie is our guest on the program today. We'll give you information, link on our website to information on the book available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble. The Reverend's website is reverelleslie.com. We'll give you that before we conclude the conversation today. I love the unique approach you've taken in writing this. How did you determine the kinds of characters that you would add to those who are referenced in the Bible story as we know it?
Okay, so again, I thought about it, and as I grew up in the Sunday school, and I was leader of the youth group, and every year, like so many other churches, we would do the Christmas story or in a play form, and I just thought more and more. Mary had a mother. Mary had a father. Joseph had a father. Joseph had a mother. So what would they have been thinking? The Bible, of course, doesn't give us any, a lot of details on what those relatives of either Mary or Joseph or Elizabeth, for that matter, would have been thinking. And so as I continued to do these plays year after year, I always continued to think, what were they thinking? What were their thoughts? How did they think about it? So I tried to imagine what they would have been thinking, what they would have been saying, how they would have been communicating. And so I created mothers and fathers and uncles and aunts and friends and persons who were, what were the people in the village saying about Mary? Because, of course, it was a shock to Mary herself, let alone to the persons in the village. And so it's kind of imaginative or creative thinking. What were they thinking about Mary and Joseph all along? And so I just created these characters and just placed my thoughts about what they were thinking into their heads.
Well, it's so well done, and it really gets all of us thinking. And again, it's so well done. Christmas Bible Drama Series, Christmas Edition, revised. Reverend, on average, how long does it take to produce a musical such as the ones in the book, from the thought process, the time it's conceived, to the writing the last word and getting it published? How long a process has this been for you?
Okay, well, I would say about 6 months or 8 months. And Rick, I'll tell you something very interesting. One of the reasons why I have done a revised edition, it's almost like a confession. It is that so the book we're referencing has 2 separate musicals in them. Same story, same Jesus, same message, different plots, like you have said. And for one of them, after I decided to publish them, for some reason, I could not find Act 2 of one of the musicals. And I thought, well, how am I going to do this? So I decided to spend some time. And honestly, it took me about 2 months to recreate an Act 2. And then, just like Murphy's Law tells us, as soon as I recreated Act 2 and had it published, I found the original Act 2. And I said, I'm not going to let this go to waste. So the revised edition has an optional Act 2 because I was able to put that first one, which I had misplaced, so to speak, in addition to the second one, which I did. But to answer your question, it takes about 6 or 8 months, from beginning to end, because I'm in bed sleeping and I'm thinking about the next scene. I am at work doing something and I'm thinking about the next scene. So it's a 24/7 process, so to speak.
With us on the program, Reverend Dr. Errol E. Leslie. The book is Christmas Bible Drama Series. As you'll read it, it takes on a new meaning now that you have the chapter that you lost that's in there as well. Another reason to read and enjoy this. Have you written or created any other theatrical works, anything else besides this?
Yes, I have. Prior to this, I had done works which I created the storyline. These were not necessarily Bible-based, as we know. Just like a regular movie, the writer will create a story. It's all imaginative. And I did a few of those. In fact, shortly after I left high school, I taught pre-trained at a school in my home country of Jamaica, and I was able to create and produce a play which the students back then did. And if I say it myself, it was a hit. It was really well accepted and appreciated by the community. And I have written other plays too. When I was in seminary, we participated in the drama festival for the University of the West Indies, and I wrote one play which was done by my fellow students. And so I have done other plays, but these 2 in this book, I would consider the main ones or the 2 big ones.
How about other books? Have you written other books?
I actually have, Rick. I have one more book on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. It's called Stolen Grace, a memoir. How God rescued me from the jaws and claws of the United Methodist Church. And that, as I said, is a memoir. It's a true story about my life. It was a bad experience. In fact, to be honest, a painful experience, which I had when I served in the United Methodist Church. And I just thought I wanted to tell that story. So that was my first book, Stolen Grace, a memoir. And then this one is my second book, and I'm hoping to keep going.
We hope that you do as well. I love the background in the arts. I want to go back to that for a second. Are you involved currently in any other aspect of the arts?
Yes, Rick, I am. I'm big on music. Again, I emphasize I did not I have not had any professional training. I did do a short course at the New England Conservatory when I served in Boston, Massachusetts, shortly after I immigrated to the US. But my family and my girls are grown now and out of college and working on their own. But when they were in high school, along with my wife, we were involved in a reggae gospel music ministry. And we did concerts before the girls came in. My wife and I did concerts all over Jamaica when we lived there. And after we immigrated to the US and the girls grew to a stage where they were able to play instruments and they both sing well, if I say so, we did reggae gospel concerts all over Florida and in several states. And the highlight of our musical career, so to speak, was our participation in the music gospel showcase in Tennessee. We did this for about 3 years consecutively, and this was great. So we have participated. I have been enjoying other aspects of the arts outside of theater and drama.
What is the impact that you hope for with this work, the Work Christian Bible Drama Series, Christmas Edition Revised? What do you hope that the impact this will have on, let's say, the church in general and the players who participate in it as well?
Okay, well, persons who may buy the book, and I hope persons will, or church leaders, youth group leaders will, they will observe in the stage directions. There are times when I have asked that the characters speak to the audience as opposed to just continuing the play, so to speak. And this is for a reason, because in the Christmas story, there is a message of miraculous works by God. There is a message of evangelism. There is a great opportunity for evangelism. And I'm hoping that persons will see when they see the reenactment of the Christmas story or the narrative as we have it, they would be impacted by this and would realize this is real, this is true, this is a miracle. We serve a God of miracles. And so I'm hoping that even the youth or adults, as the case may be, who may play the respective characters which I created, will be sufficiently impacted by this, where if they are already Christians, their spiritual lives would grow. And if perchance they may not be strong Christians, then they will become converted, because the message is that we serve a God of miracles, and he is always going to be able to do things which will make us wonder and say, wow, my God is great.
It's interesting reading some of the comments from the players who participated in Christmas Bible Drama Series and thanking you for what you've done and the opportunity, and how it's really been a life-changing role for them to be part of this production. Will you continue to write in this vein, and can we expect to see more coming out from you?
Oh, absolutely, Rick. And to be very honest with you, as I speak now, I have been thinking about my next musical, and it is going to be preempting myself, so to speak. It is going to be on Elijah the prophet. One of my in seminary, one of the subjects I really enjoyed was the study of the prophets and the study of Paul the apostle, and so I am hoping to do my next musical based on one of the prophets. Every Christian knows about Elijah, Elijah, man of God. And after that, if God lends me breath and I am around for a few more years, I want to do a musical on the life of St. Paul. Like I said, Paul the Apostle, as I said, that was one of my pet subjects. I could study prophets and Paul again. I just loved studying that particular subject in seminary.
Do you think theater drama can be an effective tool for regular pastoral ministry? Is this an effective tool that maybe should be used more?
I think so, Rick. In fact, I am absolutely convinced. If you don't mind, I'll share quickly. As I said, I have two grown daughters, and I remember the occasion when both my daughters gave their lives to Christ, respectively. One of them, we were all watching a Christian movie, the old Christian movie just entitled Jesus. And when it got to the section where Jesus went on the cross, that's the movie, one of them said, I want to give my life to him. And then my second daughter gave her life to Christ. I remember that moment too. We were attending a concert in New York. We lived in Massachusetts then, and this concert was put on by a Christian artist, Lionel Harris. I'm giving him a little push here.
Oh, yes.
And my second daughter, she just loved his singing, and she just loved that concert. And she said then, in fact, there was an altar call at the end of that concert, and she gave her life to Christ. Why am I telling you all of this? It is that I believe that the message can be proclaimed in more ways than just the traditional sermon from the pulpit, many of which I did, and many of which other pastors have done. So whether it is through a movie or through a concert like the Lionel Harris or other Christian concerts, or through theater, as I am trying to push myself, Christian theater, I think it can make an impact, can be an extremely effective tool for ministry and for Christianity.
Time is going by so quickly. I want to take a couple more minutes here at the end of our program. We're talking with Reverend Dr. Errol E. Leslie. The book is Christian Bible Drama Series, Christmas Edition, Revised. 2 musicals, same story, same message, same Jesus, different plots. Book available at Amazon, the usual places. Reverend Leslie's website is RevErrolLeslie.com. I'll give you that one more time as we wrap up here. Is there someone, persons who helped shape you and your interest in drama that sort of gave you this love for the theater and the presentation to be able to use in the church setting?
Okay, Rick, thanks for asking that. And I would think there would be several persons. But it started, as is the case with most of us, with my Sunday school teacher, Mrs. Margaret Young. She passed decades ago, and God bless her soul. When I was a Sunday school student back in the early to mid 60s, so now I'm aging myself. She was just such a fantastic person, and she would put on, of course, like typical Sunday school teachers, very small plays, 5-minute plays. She would always be encouraging me and telling me, okay, Errol, you're doing so well. Next day you're going to be doing this, and so on. So I think it started with my deceased. I still love her even many years after her passing, Mrs. Margaret Young. And of course, getting into high school and doing theater with my high school drama teachers, some of which have passed, to Mr. Gordon Meade from England, who served in Jamaica, and some others. I owe my love for drama, my interest in drama, to persons like those.
One more question on Christian Bible Drama Series and how you went about this presentation. Talk about using the combination of traditional carols mixed with your own original Christmas songs. And you do a wonderful job with the original songs as well, which can be used separately. Talk about your idea of combining these two.
Okay, well, as I created the plot for each of the musicals, as I developed the characters, I also was thinking of the musical productions I have attended, and I couldn't help but seeing where, in some instances, it was going to be effective to have the characters sing as opposed to just continuing to speak or to share. So I decided, rather than using just the traditional Christmas carols, I was going to create some songs or some lyrics which would make even more effective what they're trying to communicate. And so I created those songs, but of course there is nothing like an old-time Christmas carol to those of us who grew up in the 50s and 60s or even 70s for that matter. And so I thought, well, let's put a little of the newer ones with the old ones, so that people will know that it still is Christmas, and it will bring that Christmas spirit, so to speak.
What a creative project. This is just a wonderful, wonderful presentation by our guest on the program, Reverend Dr. Errol E. Leslie. The book is Christian Bible Drama Series, Christmas Edition, Revised. 2 musicals, same story, same message, same Jesus, different plots. The book available, you'll find at Amazon, Barnes & Noble. Reverend Leslie's website is Rev, R-E-V, Errol, E-R-R-O-L, Leslie.com. Book available, as I say, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, usual places. Link on our website, thisweekinamerica.us. And I thank KingPagesPress.com, the author's marketing consultant, for arranging our conversation today with Reverend Leslie. It's been a pleasure, sir, having you on the program. Time went by way too quickly. Hopefully we can do this again. So much more to talk about. Great to have you with us on the program. Congratulations on the success of Christmas Christian Bible Drama Series, Christmas Edition. Thank you for being with us.
It's my pleasure, Rick, and thank you so much for having me. I honestly appreciate your inviting me to share, and I just pray God's blessing on you and on your continued ministry.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure having you here and talking about the wonderful project that Reverend Leslie has done, and it's available for all of us to enjoy. Again, you'll find it at Amazon, Barnes & Noble. Link on our website, thisweekinamerica.us, and we're back on today's program right after these messages.
This Week in America is online. You can visit our website, thisweekinamerica.us. Scott Pinkerton, Associate Producer of This Week in America. Jay Anderson, Segment Producer. Ben Watson, Webmaster. Otto Bechet, Director of Engineering and TV Production. This Week in America produced and is a trademark of Blue Funk Broadcasting, LLC. For information on all of our guests and to listen to this week's show, our website again at thisweekinamerica.us. And I'm Sean Bratton, Executive Producer of This Week in America.